Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
This is No BS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 1755. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to another episode. And today is Saturday. I'm in South Carolina with a few friends working on their leadership, and recorded this before I left. And this is an answer to one of those tough interview questions that shows up in a lot of interviews. It could be done in the first conversation, but I think it's a cute question where firms really get your motivation. Hope you find this helpful and give it a great review, and let's just get going, okay? This is another one of those tough interview questions that you may be asked in the course of your search. It could be masked in a variety of different ways, in different language, but ultimately it comes down to, so why did you take my call? Now, the wrong answer is to start talking about some of your frustration at work. The wrong answer is to complain or criticize. Why? Because it gives the other firm or the recruiter leverage, a lever to pry you with at a point down the road when there's a negotiation going on. You will find your words parroted back to you because one thing I know about corporate recruiters, third-party recruiters, hiring managers, they're great note takers, right? You're a great note taker. Or your memory is fabulous and you remember these things. And at the point of an offer, it's going to be put back at you for some reason in order to find out whether they can get you for less, whether they can get you for slightly different than what they've spoken with you about at the onset. So again, no criticism. And I know you're not going to go out of your way to criticize your current boss or your current organization. You know that reflects badly on you. But the instinct is to suddenly confess things that are completely unnecessary to talk about. Here's how I'd like you to approach the answer. Doesn't matter if you're at a very senior level, doesn't matter if you're at a junior level or a staff level. The way you respond to it is by saying something along the lines of, it didn't take me a long time to notice that the person who gets ahead isn't always the smartest or work the hardest, although those are great qualities to have. People get ahead by being alert to opportunities. Sometimes those opportunities are internal to their organization. Often they're external. So I took the call in order to understand more about this opportunity because what you presented to me was interesting, but I don't know if I'm ready to go all in on this. So I want to know more. And what you've done is put it back on them. And I don't want to say present yourself as ambivalent, but you're presenting yourself in a neutral way as opposed to the active job hunter. See, firms think active job hunters, people who are aggressively looking for work, are inferior potential hires to those who are being, quote unquote, recruited. And as such, you always want to present yourself in as neutral a way as possible so that in this way, they're thinking of you as hard to get. And in hard to get, and I'm not talking about at the very end. We can talk about that another time, but in the course of the initial formulation and the initial conversation, you don't want to present yourself as the active job hunter. At a certain point, you can transition more into the role of being someone who's very interested in the job. But for now, you're in a fact-finding mode, and that's the way you want to present it. You want to understand more about their opportunity, the potential for you there, how it could benefit you, potential compensation, because they're going to always ask you about your money unless you're in a state or a jurisdiction where that's no longer a legal question. But you always want to present yourself at a place and at a level where you're eliciting information from them about what they're prepared to pay to see whether it's in line with what your expectations would be. So again, the way to answer it is by saying, it didn't take me long when I started in my career to realize that the person who gets ahead isn't always the smartest. They're not always the hardest working, although those are great qualities to have. People get ahead by being alert to opportunities. Sometimes they're internal to their organization, often they're external. And that's the smoothest way to handle that question.
So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few more ways to get more from me. First of all, there's my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. I have more than 8,000 blog posts there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find your next job. In addition, if you're interested in my coaching you, at the site, there's a button there that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call. Schedule yourself in for coaching, interview preparation coaching, salary negotiation advice, how to have your questions answered, or coaching related to hiring more effectively, managing and leading, helping you be a better executive in your organization, and overall being a better employee of your firm. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. Mention that you watched or listened to my content. I like knowing I'm helping folks. Once we're connected, if you're interested in coaching, let me know. I think it's easier at the website, but if that's the way you want to do it, so be it. Lastly, join my group on Facebook called Career Angles. It's focused on helping you do better at work. Information there is shared daily, and I'm attempting to build a supportive group there. Ask to join. I'm not letting recruiters in, so I want to make it a safe place for everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Be great!
When you're ready to ride Metro, we want you to know we're ready for you. Here are just a few of the people at Metro to tell you how we're doing our part to keep riders safe.
We're cleaning like never before with hospital-grade cleaning.
You'll find hand sanitizer stations all over the Metro.
No mask, no Metro. Need one? We have a few extras.
At Metro, we're doing our part to keep the DC area moving. Find out more at WMATA.com/doingourpart.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven and get Thanks Grilling with Ace. Get a new grill and choose from top brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg to add even more flavor to your Thanksgiving turkey, side dishes, and desserts. Plus, right now, get free assembly and delivery on all grills and accessories $3.99 and up. For the best help on the best grills, stop by your local Ace and get Thanks Grilling. Ace Rewards members only through December 24th. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions.